Okay, moving on.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Faria the Pawn.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Absolutely, come on.
Certainly seemed that
How
way.
else could she
The
do what
question
she
is,
did?
Who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us
Yeah,
harm.
that wasn't a very great
There's
attempt
no
to stop
question.
us, by the way.
That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
Jesus, man. Huh?
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Yeah, so what does the Red Woman have to do with the will of Dana? By that logic, maybe Rena also has a will.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Oh no! What the fuck is this? The thorns were in her the whole time? Oh, bro, can we have a nice day for once? Yeah, so that's where the thorns came from. Huh. This is pretty bad.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No.
Yeah, did they do this intentionally? Like a bunch of
What
assholes?
the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... Like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end
Yeah,
of
we're
time.
expected to beat this. Like, okay, man.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
Yeah, it's
I've
one and
never
the
felt
same.
astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience.
So you got a lot of that
If
bad
so,
shit in you.
Maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
Life is suffering.
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right.
Yeah, holy
All we
shit.
can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, Shion, you got some real fucked up shit inside you. Like, that's pretty
Fine.
bad. That's really
That
bad.
vision saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something.
Story is definitely way more convoluted than most
Well,
other
it could
Tales
be
games.
supernatural.
Like, by a long
You know,
shot.
Like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the
This is the
grave,
least Tales
ghost
game
type
ever.
stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
Like
You
scrying.
think that's what it was?
Scrying into the
Some kind
past.
of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Alright, cool. What the fuck? Oh my god. I'm scared. Yeah, you can't control this. Well, this is it, guys. This is the final teleport.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns. As well as my own past, I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
This might be it.
Just need a little time first.
I just need a little. He says I want it. Okay, anyway, whatever. So this might be something. I'll say that. So we'll go back and then we could just run forward, I guess, because, you know. I don't know. I keep wondering, like, what's going to happen.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Okay. We'll cook, I guess. We'll cook the kebab. I meant to hit law. I pressed up. Whatever. It's fine. I mean, it's kind of not, but whatever. I don't feel like overwriting it. All right. There you go. Oops. So now we can forge weapons. I can make the Gladius Renee. That's all that I can make. Pretty much, I just need more of those Rending Titan things. You have Mantic Claws. Basically, all those enemies in there are the enemies I need to farm if I want to get more and more. Or Dark Mains. Yeah, sure, whatever. There you go. Maybe this is the rare books. That's why I did it. Pink Pyroctor? Pyrotector. Jesus. It's actually good, but this is better. Like, they introduce one item that's good, and then they introduce another one that's even easier to get. So that's why I don't understand, so whatever. I'll just buy a bunch of life bottles, pretty much. Otherwise, I have a good amount of everything else. Pretty much the only thing I used were life bottles, so... I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Like, you basically have to go around and grind in that area over and over and over again. That's pretty much what it is, so... Okay. Well, we'll save. I don't know if this is, like, the end of the game for sure or what, but... Yeah, we have to run through. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, if the enemies respawn, it kind of does suck, but whatever. But you kind of are hoping the enemies do respawn, so you have some form of, like, renewable money, right? Yeah, free grape shell. You actually kind of want the enemies to respawn. Which is why I don't think there's gonna be anything else after that, right? Because otherwise it's like, well, how else am I supposed to heal and get items, you know? Like, you throw me at a boss fight, if I were to just continue onward, I wouldn't get anything else. So at least this area is kind of decently grind-worthy. Nope. But you see what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's just because this game is linear or what, but just something about this game, it's like, the systems just aren't really, like, they don't congeal well together. It's kind of fucked up. Wow, I actually got around that. I did not think I was going to do that at all. I just think if they had left this as it was for every other Tales game, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But you can clearly tell they wanted to, like, change up some stupid stuff. And I don't know. Whatever. Okay, now we could save. Somehow I got back here in one piece, so...
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shionne's thorns. As well as my own past, I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I just need a little time first. I want to make sure I go into whatever comes next.
Oh, he does say the correct line. Okay, they didn't put the other line in the dialogue. Okay, I was like, what the fuck? That's not at all what he says.
Soon I have to be ready to fit. I'm determined to save Shionne and Dana.
Yeah.
Nothing I learned can change that.
Okay. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it has to be something big.
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
Is this the room he was in before?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
Okay.
This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Okay. The Forbidden Zone.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams.
Well, obviously someone
Here
has
I
to
am,
man the Forbidden
standing
Zone.
within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, They can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Yeah, so clearly they
Did
let
no one
people
ever
in.
talk about it
Or
when
maybe
we
they
were
just
growing
don't
up?
know where they are.
No, not that I can remember. Then again, sovereigns and forbidden zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Yeah, and I guess we're gonna figure out like why there were 1,000 other test subjects before Alphen. There has to be some reason. I think they found something they weren't supposed to
I can make this
find
work.
deep inside Naori. Yeah, the glowing eyes is
head or
kind
tail
of
of
weird.
it?
I'm still weirded out by it.
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danan.
Yeah, Sovereign.
Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores.
This is all a big
With all
experiment.
this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords. Why would they be on there?
The ones who won.
Think about it.
Yeah.
The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait,
What is it? Did you find something?
it's a list of names. With the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign.
Oh, that's convenient.
It's your call.
Yeah, open it.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful.
Yeah, they succeeded with him and then they invaded Dana.
Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Uh-oh.
Test subject number 10105.
Damn!
Ethnicity,
Volran?
NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volran.
Yeah, they continued the project.
But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volran
Took them
are the only
9,000
two
more
subjects
test
on whom the
subjects to
experiment
catch
was a
up.
Success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined.
Yeah, it's probably a lie.
When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest.
Well, that's nice.
It's all lies. including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
Probably to keep the Renans in line, at the minimum.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Nope. Wipe clean.
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately.
Maybe they take the astral energy out of whoever wins the crown contest.
I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're
They
welcome
siphon
to
it
take a
out
look
their
through what
master
you can.
core, and then they kill them.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well.
I have livestock.
The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We
Okay.
should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Toying with lives.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300
300
years.
years of bullshit,
So
and it
why
had nothing to
have
do
the
with the crown
experiment only
contest.
succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah. We wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of
You can't just lose control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
The illest bro.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Okay, what does it say? The Sovereign. The Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Danon subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during adjustment period, and stability is not guaranteed for those who survive it. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternative methods have been found to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on Dan subjects are authorized to continue. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. Like it's Lenegis' central control device. So it's something they implant into you. And it changes you as a person, it seems. Yeah, okay. And you also need to have equal amounts of astral energy. Okay. The main acts is the Sovereign support mechanism. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Renan subject serves its functions, providing the Sovereign with the supplemental dark astral it lacks in tandem with the Renus Alma. During the ceremony is partly responsible for the astral energy conversion, as well as maintain stability over the Sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the Sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activations of the Sovereign without the maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the Sovereign nor the maiden are to be informed about the details of the... Oh, well, oops, a little too late for that. Mental instability in the maiden has been deemed the cause of the past Sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. In line with plan adjustments, the current subject will have its maiden registration revoked to be returned to its original household. So that's probably what happened to Naori. Like they said, they need the dark astral energy. The Sovereign provides everything else. They needed to have a relationship. And that's about it. Okay, cool. Well, that's kind of something, but that explains why when she broke her concentration, that's why everything went to hell. Master cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belong to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these master cores are loaned to the Renan Lords at the time of the crown contest. Only the dark master core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Rena's Alma is ready to be reformed, its existence kept top secret. Underneath the master core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of their tenure, each lord competes in the crown contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Rena's Alma materializes. Be advised that active master cores may resonate with other master cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Due to the successful regeneration of the Rena's Alma, master cores will cease to be deployed and the crown test will be permanently halted. Well, was that 300 years ago, or was that only now? It's a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy. It's like the force field... They may resonate with other master cores and become unstable. Have we seen that yet? I don't think we have, right? Spirit cores are end terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Danans must be employed to harvest astral energy for the purpose of the crown contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zeugles to control them via astral arts. Increased physical load on a host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral yields is still pending. So they basically work them near death in order to get the most out of them, as it says. Can you go back here? Looks like you can. I don't know if you can from this side. We'll see in a second. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority, as well as 1 of 5 elemental realms to administer in its corresponding master core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables such as age have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest can go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a master core's power. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Unique Adjustment Index Test Subject Report. The following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject Experimentation, given name Valoran. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability, along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risk it poses surpass even those of the last test subject, itself a failure, and therefore under consideration for disposal. This is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to the established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. And that's why they got rid of the Water Lord. It wasn't an accident. It was intentional. And the Red Woman probably told him he was a test subject all along, too. He's turned on? Oh, God. Lenegis. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, the Maiden, and the Rena's Alma within the central core of Lenegis. It is a comprised of classified... What the fuck? It is comprised of classified and essential person. Yeah, I think that's not right. Around a large conduit, along with the defensive layers surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as a stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to the residential zones. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegis serves as the central base of operations for the management and execution of the crown contest on Dana. Any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. Of course. The Detachable Harvester. A massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. It serves as the tip of the Lenegis conduit from which it separates. Upon landing in Danan waters, it extends two separate conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connecting to the center of Dana. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegis. Because construction and adjustment takes place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, Lenegis' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to launch. Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. Detachable Harvester's 2 landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. Oh. And that would be the one that we destroyed. Sedative Mask? A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegis, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Oh, okay, sure. Just after 300 years, we didn't even give a shit. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. The system is unique in that it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority, while relegating both Danans and Renans alike to enslavement. Tess Volran serves as the realm's current Lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or devices. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. Collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once the subject loses autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Soldiers on Lenegis who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The results will be monitored. So there you have it. That's the brainwashing that we were talking about. So this room is pretty much the biggest information dump you could ever ask for in a game. They pretty much explained all of the backstory. You can see pipes for transporting astral energy. There you go. For whatever it's worth. A notice: this area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. Showing this room's equipment hasn't been used in a long time. Yeah, so that's... I think this room was more or less abandoned after they finished up Volran. Once they got him and once he was ready, they stopped writing in this room. They just left. Only thing that remained was for stuff to just play out. Alright, sure. There's your information dump. We couldn't weave it in anywhere else. That's why they let Alphen and Naori get close. No, put it back. This room is unchanged over 3 centuries. It's like time itself has stopped here. Okay. You see lots of numbers. Looks like logs of alignment between subjects and Lenegis proper. Yep, this area will now be shut down. Yeah, there's nothing else really going on here. I never found the last block of tofu. Probably a failure disposal mechanism as well. Yeah, in case they go bad, we can get rid of them. Just eject them out of here. Okay, alright, so that's it really. It's just the other room for the most part. But we actually have the room where we had all the stuff happen before. Like, holy shit. Uh-oh, here it comes again.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain.
I guess he was supposed to land and then, I guess, take off the mask.
Farewell.
But as you know, he never got it taken off. In fact, the opposite kind of happened. He awoke his powers again.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode.
How long term? Who knows?
The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system.
Ah, fuck it. I'll do it anyway.
But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be
So she might still be
ashes,
alive holding this
and
whole
his
place
starship
together.
along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
Yeah, so she probably had to use her maiden powers. That's probably what it is. They probably sealed whatever it is inside of her, and it's in her bloodline.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori
Yes.
was the one who put that mask on me. It made me Iron Mask.
Yes.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Alright, that's kind of nice. I mean, what can I say to that? That we kind of already knew that. Oh, fuck me. I'm scared. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we're fine. Were we here in a flashback, I think? I think we were. This room feels suspiciously familiar. Maybe we weren't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Heavy treat. That's actually helpful. I guess this is the center of Lenegis then, right? Where did they find this, like, weird alien style bullshit? I feel like they should really feel bad that they use this.
We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course.
This shit seems like a mistake.
After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
Yeah, I don't think it's the will of the Renans.
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself.
Yep.
In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet.
That's our thorns.
That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be.
Yeah,
The
didn't they
Renis Alma
send her
was
home?
lost,
Yeah.
and Alphen the Sovereign was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well.
I'm assuming she knew that if she died with it, it would just unleash immediately.
I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just... Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danan voice speaking through her?
I'm scared what the hell this thing is doing. But we don't have the Renis Alma. Oh, sweet.
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3
It's
centuries
a
ago.
suit and a piece of armor?
So you're saying this
Yo!
is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
That shit sounds so stupid out of
These outfits
context.
are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
Yeah, it wouldn't just prevent it, it would eradicate it.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma. We'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We
Yeah,
should
but who
take
would
care not
directly
be
want them
too
to do this?
optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
So clearly the
Thank
Renans
you.
have not been in the driver's seat with any of
Naori
this at
entrusted
all.
us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to
As
be
if any of you are
useful
leaving at
And
this
they say
point.
modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop.
I forgot that they got these outfits, by the way.
Thank you, Naori.
It would have been a little cooler if, you know, that. Why? I don't know why they changed the opening.
So Naori
Honestly,
sealed away the power
massive
that made me
fucking
lose
spoilers
control
in the
of
game,
myself.
man.
She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories.
Is the reason for your curse.
They're both
Thorns.
intertwined.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved snack.
That's really what you're thinking of?
Embracing everyone.
What?
All the normal things that people do
That's
together.
not normal. That's
I
being a
always
dick.
wished I could experience them for myself and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long
No
as it
kid.
takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Okay. Holy shit, what? Who? Shion, okay. The latest maiden. Revitalize. Oh, she can learn an advanced healing art. CP restoration when full. That's what's for cooking. Yeah, I'm gonna get this. What do I have her marked for? Anything? Oh, this. Increase ailment bonus damage. Oh yeah, for the bonus. This is more important. And then we'll get this, because that's gonna be really important. Okay, that's it. Sodiel Arthalis, a sword given to the chosen sovereign that draws. Are you kidding me? Hold on, before I watch this thing. By the way, nice art. Holy shit. I made this for. Dude, okay. If you make a game, don't do this. Don't make me make this sword for 5 minutes and spend a shit ton of money on it just to replace it not even half an hour later. Don't do that, please. I hate that. They didn't even give her a weapon, by the way. They just said, fuck it, only Alphen gets a cool sword. Absolute. Whatever. That type of shit pisses me off. I'm not even gonna lie. It's like I spent all this money and all this upgrade materials and then they're like, oh, okay, you know what? Who cares? Whatever. Fuck you. And indirectly fuck me too, I guess.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
This is a long
Basically
game, by
meant
the
that
way.
She never had anything to
In
break down in
fairness.
the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
Alright. Damn, this outfit looks good, man. The designs in this game are either really good or really eh. I'll say that. This design is pretty fucking sweet, dude. This outfit is pretty fucking baller. Not gonna front. I think the worst part about the design is this big fucking molten stick on my back. Forbidden Zone Depths Warp Room. Okay. Can we get a fast travel point, like here? No, I guess not. I guess we're running from the civilian park. Why not?
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
Only if you're ready. This is just gross.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
The amount of feathers on that outfit is just... ugh. It was like some weird World of Warcraft outfit. Oh, did we get it? Did we still don't have a fast travel point? Are you serious? I just gotta keep going until we get one. Like, for real. What do you want me to do? Otherwise, you gotta run through all this shit again.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... it reminds me more of being back inside the Wedge.
Except the Danan astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So what is it then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
Yeah, you just go a little too far down.
Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
Oh, I
In
like
that
this.
case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside
And
your
isn't
head.
it like you just do
Shut
that?
up.
Like, come on. Uh-oh. Bro, there's something severely wrong with Lenegis, man.
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then
Yeah, but who would be his
is this
maiden?
Another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait though, something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. One from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Renna, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
The shrine of the true sovereign.
He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in the machine.
Hey look, over there.
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Do they have like a fake maiden or something?
That this entire chamber
Yeah.
was meant to act as a substitute for the maiden?
I guess the Red Woman can't do it
Looks like
directly.
it's still running, but Are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
Oh, they're totally not just gonna let us take it. All right, boss, where are you at?
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
The time law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
Oh, there's a lot
On
of
the
them.
same face? How is that even possible?
What? This game is fucking freaky, man.
What's this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
What? That was not what the line said at all.
I don't know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
Yeah, no one can even see them. I mean, our Renans can, but I don't know. I guess you have to be focused into seeing them. All right, red women.
Particularly targeted.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
I still like that move. For what it's worth, I do still like that move. Mirage is simple, but it works. Okay. I'm assuming that we're not winning this, we're just dealing collective damage to all of them, is what I'm gonna assume. Yeah, please do so. Okay, and this time I could have just fucking healed myself. I'm being stupid. Okay, well, I don't want to use a treat yet, you know, like... The fuck? Okay, he needs it more now. I forget that I don't throw it. That's what's fucking me up, because usually you tell who you want to use the item. In this game, it's random. Although they kind of assume that they want the... Yeah, whatever, fuck it.
This is some punishment.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. I don't think we're supposed to win this fight, because they don't stagger, they don't move, they don't take damage, really. We're just hitting them.
No rest for the wicked.
Oh, it kind of staggered. Oh, they have over limit and they all enter it at once. Oh, all right. Is that it? Maybe. Like, I have no clue if we're doing anything effective. We'll just hit it. It's fine. They're all linked too. They all flinch at the same time. Uh-oh, oh shit. I love enemies that when they start running quick, like, you know some real shit's about to happen. By the way, this move kind of sucks. Let's see, I think you use it from back here. You have to use it at like mid-range, because if you use it right next to an enemy, you go past them, which kind of defeats the purpose. Let me use this. It's bothering me. Yeah. Fuck. Here we go. Yeah. See, notice how I wasn't in that intentionally. Yeah. There's a reason why, Kisara.
Stay away from my friend.
As I said, it's like MMO mechanic style fights. So I think we are supposed to kill them. I mean, obviously they're not really much of a threat so far, despite what the cutscene would make you think. It's just, I don't know. There's probably a phase 2. If it's this easy, there's probably a phase 2. So, I don't know. I did not mean to jump into that. They just throw buzzsaws. What a weird fucking game. Like, really. What a weird fucking game, man. He can spawn it right behind him. Okay, now they have new attacks. It's a little more annoying. Uh-oh. Yeah, you gotta kind of like look at all of them. Oh, back to back? Oh, shit. I mean, at least they're nice enough to give you a good weapon. It's just, I wish I had known that they were gonna give Alphen a good weapon, because I wouldn't have bought the fucking other one. Yeah, we're fine. Maybe. I gotta use another orange gel in a second. Basically, you go into that one maintenance tunnel and you just grind it out for items non-stop. Is pretty much the lesson I learned from this session. Is that you go there, you get the platinum dog tags, and you get a whole bunch of other stuff, and eventually you create enough bullshit, you're able to just create all the weapons that you would want to create anyway. So it wouldn't matter. Okay, dodge. That's fine, because the whole point of that move is that it's slow. Uh-oh. Yeah, notice how I'm not running into that? She blocked it, though, so that's kind of good. Okay, that time she didn't. I just think it's not worth using my treats here. I feel like the treats, the gold gel, and the Omega elixirs, I'm just gonna save all of these. So as fully restores all allies HP. Okay, I'm saving all this for the finale. Like everything else I can replace. It makes no sense for me to blow all this stuff now. Oh, they used another one. Thanks. Oh no! What? He died? That's hilarious. He's like, well, I'm dead. It's in your hands. But you see, like, because, like, it defeats the whole purpose of the game to have a break system, and you can never use it on bosses. Like, not even slightly. It's not really effective. So, like, most of your strategies, like, if you have a combo that works on an enemy that's broken and you can lift them, it doesn't even work in this game. Like, I can't really use my aerial combo. And again, every other Tales game does that. Right? Like, I don't mind them doing this. Oh, shit. Am I gonna fuck this up? Nope. I can't see the other ones. Hilarious. Okay. Anyway, let's get the healers up.
No rest for the wicked. From beyond.
I'm gonna have to use a pineapple gel. Yeah, let's use the pineapple. It's just like a lot of questionable things I wonder why they removed. Like, why did they get rid of the ability for you to dictate what party member uses an item? Like, that could be a very important thing. Why did they not let you tell your casters to stay the fuck back during combat? Like, I genuinely don't understand it. And maybe at this point, I guess I'm just not going to, so it's whatever. Okay, I actually kind of like that move. That's a good initiate move. You have to, like, actually plan it, though. It's not something that you could just randomly use. Oh, he died again. Okay, let's get him up. I don't care if he dies in this. If there's a chance he'll live, it's worth it. Alright, it's just the beams. Use it on myself. Hilarious. Oh shit! Well, don't worry. We won the fight, though, Aline. It's okay. All right. I don't know what we're gonna do to him. Let's do this. Yep, they all die.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
I think we just pissed him off.
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Take it and back up. Don't just look at him.
Who said you could touch that?
Why are you scared? Take it. Move. I hate this man.
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
Can we shoot him while he's... Yeah, well, it's just too late now.
Bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think?
I like these chains.
Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
The red woman is my
Plus,
waifu.
What kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alphen, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean... Boron was kidnapped just like Alphen?
Yeah,
But then he became a...
we know this. I mean, obviously,
Slave
yeah.
from
It's
Dana.
a cutscene.
Just like us. Isn't
Yeah,
that
you're nothing
right,
special, homie.
Volron?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters.
Oh no, how
I will
selfish.
stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
Not yet.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Bro, we need to stop this bitch from doing this all the time.
Serenus Alva!
Too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alpha!
Yeah, leave him. Who cares? He'll be back. Come on. Of course he'll be back. Oh no. That gap is way too wide, but whatever. Bruh, we'll see you at the end of the game. It ain't that bad. I'd have a damn smile on my face, knowing I'm unkillable.
But no, I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
I gotta like that guy. I'm just chilling out here.
Never forget,
It's all good.
I am the one who devours everything, who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Of course not.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Yeah, no one knows what's down there.
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If not here, it has to be
Monstrous
Rena.
forms their true identity. I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human.
It's probably already destroyed all of Rena to begin with.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
I guess that's why, because there was nothing else
But
beyond that.
seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Brennan's or Danan's.
Yeah, and not in a good way like with us.
The Red Women.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human
Bro,
at
it's
all.
the eyes. It's the
They
fucking
definitely
Grudge
weren't
style
Ren nor
eyes that get
Danan.
me.
I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
No, I think they're
Is the
aliens.
most terrifying thing anyone said all day.
How about you, Shion? Dohalie? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena. And Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something
Oh, there's probably
hidden?
tons of them and they don't
Both
care.
sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
All right. I imagine that Rena is not going to be much. Like, it's probably going to be one area. I don't know. Maybe this game is like 100 fucking hours long. Because I know I did grinding. Oh, what does this do? Alright, no trace of power. I know I did grinding and all that. So, like, that does kind of pump up the numbers a little bit more than what I usually get on Tales games. But maybe this game is just, like, inherently much fucking longer. Oh, the good news is I'll be able to take those life bottles now. I'll be able to save some money. We're gonna land on Rena. It's gonna be a vast desert. We're just gonna fly over, and we're just not gonna see anything in it because there's nothing to see on Rena. No one lives there. It's a lie. Probably the only Renans in existence come from Lenegis. They're from the different houses. Okay. Oh, this is... Uh-oh. Wait. If this is back, that's not good. I don't know if these things are set to respawn or what, but if these things are back, that's not good. Yep, that's not good. Okay, well, now we know. Probably can't be too hard, right? Because you can't get any items from here. Damn, I should have grinded this area. Oh no, okay, the enemies are still here. Okay, good.
Dispose of the trash.
Holy shit, they come right for you. Alright. Trying to save myself for if there's actually like a boss coming up. I like that Dohalim has the most HP out of any of us, and he gets down the hardest and the fastest. Like, that's nice. I mean, it's kind of offsetting it, right? Like I said, I think the biggest problem is that you just take too much damage in this game. Shortcake, okay. Nice. See, if I were to grind, I would just run through this passageway a dozen times and then warp back to the park. That's what I'll do. If I grind tonight, I probably won't because I think I'm going to record some more. But if I were to grind, hypothetically, it would be probably like the shortest, simplest grind ever. Because this is right here. You just start from here, run through to the end, warp right back to it. Rinse, repeat.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two. Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegis is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
Maybe.
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree.
Yeah, they have no clue what to do.
But this time, not so much as a peep. any longer and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust?
Yeah, why don't you pose as the Sovereign and show off your power?
That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
It might very well be Dohalim, actually.
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign...
Let's just have the two of them get on a video cast.
Right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is...
It's literally you.
Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
They could have Alphen flashes like his sigil, you know?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said...
To prove that it's legit.
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
He could always lie and say that he won, though.
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my
Or that.
capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest.
He also has his white outfit on.
The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
There it is. Oh shit. Well, that was easy. It's probably more like a conclusion to his plot arc than
Your
anything.
speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
What a bro.
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things.
Yeah, their character.
Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept turn against death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Nope.
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be? After the second chance that I've
It's so cool. He's like a real main character.
From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
That's cool. It's like a finale to his whole plotline, and I guess by extension, Kisara's a little bit. Alright. Renan Leader. Ground Dasher, an advanced earth art that gushes rocks out of an earth fissure. Improved healing arts is by far the most important thing I think I could even get him, so we're going to save up for that. We're pretty close. We might try to round out some of his extra stuff, too. So, like, Cure was really good. I've seen him use it a couple of times. It's really helpful. Okay.
Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
One's own master.
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time, too.
You, a Renan Lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment, a lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight.
This dude.
But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
Yeah, he would have liked him. Being able to actually speak to a Renan.
Especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
Wiping the slate.
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter?
Also, it's weird. Her outfit is like different
Yes,
colors in
I
some
have.
scenes.
I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Leaving the nest.
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Yeah, they've all matured. All three of them.
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
They've all left the
You were
nest.
thinking about Dohalim.
Such
weren't you?
adults.
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
All right, sounds good. I like that. I like that it's like a conclusory arc for both of their plot lines. That's kind of nice, actually. Especially since he's probably like one of my favorite characters in a Tales game, for sure. Like, he might come into the story a little bit late, but it kind of feels like if Regal had a more interesting plot line and a deeper plot line. That's some of the characters in Symphonia, I feel. Just like that you never really got to explore them, because Regal you get really late in the game. Like, I barely remember even using him. Like, he's not really in a ton either. He's kind of like a last-minute character. But I like that Dohalim has had so much screen time to develop and evolve as a character. It's really crazy. They had a very good vision in mind when they were making him, design-wise and character-wise. And I mean, that's got to count for something, right? I mean, this has been a crazy 4 hours, I'm not gonna front. So yeah, I gotta respect it. I gotta like it a lot, you know? It's interesting. At least I'll say this, the main story of this game has been interesting. We might retread a lot of bullshit, we might go through a lot of stuff, but I will say this, at least it's been interesting. Like, otherwise, like, unlike Grace's, where it kind of meanders a bit and all that, at least this is pretty chill. This is pretty good. I like it. Is that a chest? No, okay. Take off departure. I also like that this area has, like, a lot of, like, very unique music, too. It is a very nice view, too, by the way.
I thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That could probably wait.
That can wait for now.
Yeah.
We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
It's actually Doc. He's the real villain.
Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renis Alma. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should
How
get a feel
things-
for how things are on the
how
ground
things-
before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face
Well,
is
how do
an
we even
attack.
know where to
If we
land?
come across a capital, we should... What?
Stop. You don't get to go to Rena. I guess they're going to answer my question for us right now. Oh. Okay. As I said, why doesn't someone shoot us down? I mean, there you go. That's pretty much it right there. Looks like they're made of dark astral energy. Alright, game over.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
Well,
The
we're still in
ship's controls
space.
aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone, look there!
What? Is it anime? Oh, shit. Yeah, it is. Don't open up. Don't have a mouth. Please don't have a fucking mouth. Yeah, it's not a real planet. Oh, shit. I told you. I told you it was fake. Bro, so where do Renans come from? Oh, that's why they need the Pillar of Light, because Renan will shoot a Pillar of Darkness. Man, I hate that fucking thing. Yeah, something impacted this planet ages ago. How very Metroid Prime of them. I cannot believe no one, we never questioned why doesn't Rena ever rotate. I guess we know now. It's not a real fucking planet. Or if it was, it's too late for it.
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
So all they did was warp us over a little bit. I thought we got sent to like
The flower of
the negative
oblivion.
zone.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Look, calm down. You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Bro, it just keeps getting worse.
The starship, it's back online?
Are we being attacked by something?
Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
Bro, it just keeps getting worse. Just when you think something good was gonna happen. We are not taking any dubs today. Only L's. This piece of shit. This isn't Lennigus, right? This is some other shit. Have the aliens shown up?
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lennigus in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here?
But it can't be,
Those red
right?
Women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
This game gets fucking wacky, dude.
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
This game is fucking bonkers. Out of reach.
Ah, Shion, just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
What the... Oh, right.
Dude, you're
The
like
thorns.
50 hours too late to
My
be
bad.
surprised by this.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I overreacted.
Again, Law, can't you even go a minute without putting your foot in your mouth?
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys, not the other way around.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask. Not being able to touch people, does it ever get lonely sometimes?
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms. It was either accept it for what it was or come undone. Before long, it was just part of my everyday reality. I think I even forgot there was another way to live. Which isn't to say I didn't feel alone. I did. Always.
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as loneliness? I don't know how you managed.
It's fine. I know I'm not alone anymore.
But I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down? Even Alphen.
I appreciate the concern.
Yeah, we're almost at the end.
Until
it's
I
fine.
get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. But not forever. Alphen promised me that. Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way, the day will come. And I'll be ready when it does.
Yeah, just hang in there. One day, we'll share a big warm hug. You'll see. I promise.
Lightening the mood. I don't know if anything could, honestly. This is like existential threats, dude.
Ah, what the... Are you out of your mind? This isn't the time for games, Rinwell.
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to resist with you looking all jittery like that?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation. You ought to try it
We're
sometime.
talking about galactic threats
Yeah,
here.
Seeing you act all nervous, you're making
Some
me start
Fermi
to feel
paradox
nervous
shit.
too.
Yeah, something
Sorry.
probably struck Renna
Staying
ages
alert is
ago and
important,
ate it
but Too
alive.
much caution can cloud your judgment. Try to strike a balance.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah,
Our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical
Dude, no
bodies,
one lives on Rena.
floated amongst the stars in the heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown
You guys
contest,
have nothing.
but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
God
Okay,
damn.
Who's the wise guy that summoned us here?
Keeping calm.
That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renan side that it first came from, right?
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renan homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegis?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all. But what are they after? Is it really worth going through all this trouble just to steal Dana's energy?
Try to stay calm. With so many factors we don't understand, dwelling on it won't get
Yeah,
us anywhere.
this story is balls deep.
What is it?
No, it's just... Zephyr once told me the same thing. So much for me making progress, huh?
You made it this far, didn't you? You notice something, you change it. That's all anyone can do. But you can't stand still in the meantime.
Okay. Yep, nothing over here, so... I guess we're gonna meet someone, huh? Alright, Fusoya. Tell me what I need to know. I'm just gonna assume there's nothing back there.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that?
Who's in there?
It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrecht 35.
Hevrecht 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place?
This game
Wait,
is
before
fucking
that,
nuts.
What exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
Yeah, probably might be faster to explain
What
this
did you
way.
do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
This game
Like it or
just
not,
became a fucking Star
Maybe our
Ocean game,
best
dude.
chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil.
Helgen, okay.
The red women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
Yeah, but this one's controlling.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it, without question, throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrek 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both
Yeah, what do you want to do right
Even
now?
if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Yeah, Dana's chill. It doesn't
Your
care.
fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy. And the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed.
Bingo.
And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest.
So maybe
Had the initial
Renans
spirit
are just
channeling
altered
from
Danans.
300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegus was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Right, but if things didn't go south, we would all be dead
we
anyway.
still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrek 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your
It's not his
master?
master anymore, yeah.
I did. It is in your best interest
You have to.
that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a
Yeah,
part.
and he can't go back. He'd fall right back
Vengeance?
under its sway again.
For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Well, we don't have much of a choice then, do we?
Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Phasal.
Hey! Hey!
Alright, good night.
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
Okay. Find the others.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
Yeah, but we have no better
To be
plans,
honest,
and it kind of works out.
The conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and too much of it
I don't
is
care if
bad.
we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into
It
all
probably
this?
just augmented a bunch of Danans. Genetically.
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out.
Good lord. It's like a Star Ocean game now, man. I'm guessing it's gonna be on the lower floor, right? Because they have sofas here, so like I guess people were supposed to come around and walk around and interact here. Now we can go to the lower level. I didn't go to the upper level. Or are they all digitized now? What?
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Hmm? Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What?
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevric 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Okay. I guess they are Renans.
Have you guys lived up here in Dag Fazel with Hevrek 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
Oh, that's fair.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrek 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves
There you go.
around us Renans.
They can't detect them.
As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a
Yeah,
little
probably doesn't
lonely.
care anymore.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions.
That's a lot to take in. What does this guy have?
Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next
Okay,
shift,
good.
so
That's
I
a
can
little
talk
reassuring,
until then.
maybe.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
No, you explained nothing,
Apparently
homie.
not.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
Bingo. You
But if
people
that's
didn't
true,
even come from Rena.
then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
Nope.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge.
Yeah, you
of
guys did all the
extinction,
dirty work
as,
for them.
In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there.
And just boosted the shit out of
That's why
it.
we, as their descendants,
Yeah.
can all cast arts, albeit to varying
And the only ones they
degrees.
missed were the
Let me get this
mages.
straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Yeah, they gathered up every single person who could even begin
Technology
to.
is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny
Oh,
machines
Jesus.
that are practically invisible.
Nanomachines.
which they insert
Oh,
into
shit.
Their bodies and
Enough. You needn't tell us anymore.
Nanomachines, son.
So calmly about all of this.
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it.
I mean, yes and no.
The Helganquil are the real Renans.
They didn't have to do all the
Personally, I don't
extra
think
stuff
it's
that
such
they
a big
did.
deal.
It's not a great
You're also
trade-off.
mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
It makes sense.
Dohalim.
Your planet, there is no
Just when
planet.
I
It's a
think we're getting
shell.
to the bottom of it
It's a
all,
facade.
some new revelation
Good
smacks us
lord.
in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while.
No, you're fucked. Appears to maintain constant monitoring to ensure nothing approaches Daik Phasal. But that would explain why this dude was like Renans? Oh, I guess so, yeah, sure.
Do you
whatever.
know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection.
Collecton.
And the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner. However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
Yeah, just
What about
bypass the
flower
whole
that
thing
sprouted from
entirely.
Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevrecht 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
Thanks,
He
I
talks like
guess.
the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden.
Yeah, none of you are really that special.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves.
But just one look at Rena should have explained all of that.
Take in, but I think it's fair to say that we found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil.
Then use them to make the Renans and start the whole thing.
The Renans, who went on to invade and rule over.
Jeez, what a stacking story.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't
convoluted
directly
as fuck,
control the
too.
Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay.
Dude, there's nothing really to save on Rena.
Be alone right now?
Honestly.
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
All right.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
Finding one's
Everything
footing.
we thought we knew. It was all just a fabrication that the Red Women, that the Helganquil made up.
Right. Assuming we can believe anything that Hevrek 35 has told us, that is.
Well, if the names are anything to go by, it's possible the Helganquil could be behind the fruits of Helgen too.
I mean, yeah,
But if
that's
Hevrek
it's in the
35
name.
was telling the truth, and this was all just one massive lie, does that mean everything we've done up until now has been pointless?
No, I don't think so. Or at least I hope not. I think it just means we've lost our foothold for now. That's all.
Really? Well then, if we've lost it, I guess we'll just have to find another. All of us together. And if we can't find one, then we'll make a new one. End of story.
Make one, huh? I see. Right then. Count me in.
What a brutal fucking story, man. It's long as shit. Like, at the end it makes sense, but my god, throughout the most of it, it's just been one thing after another. I guess we'll just talk to everyone. They have an end here, I guess. Oh my god, who's calling me? Oh, nice. Scam likely. Thanks. Yeah, I really care a lot about that. Okay.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
He who? Oh, you mean Dohalim, don't you?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About the Renans, and the Great Spirit, and all that?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit is like a huge natural disaster, but with a mind and will of its own. But if that thing's hellbent on trying to destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it.
Yeah, like, but how?
As for the Renans, I suppose my feelings on
Even
that
if it has a
are
weak
more
point, the
mixed.
weak point could be like fucking
How so?
huge. We could just be pinpricking
Coexistence
it.
between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on guard around Renans. So, to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is, well, I guess it's a little deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
Yeah, I didn't expect this
Renans?
plot twist. I'll be
At the end of
honest.
the day, the Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danan is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances the Danans have against the Renans is long, and understandably so. And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
She did.
It's no small task. You can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain, in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma. The first step to healing those wounds is to put aside that hatred. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need
She
to
has
make
her
sure
head
our
screwed
plan
on the
isn't
most.
going to get
I mean, it
wiped
makes
out.
sense. Dolan was probably not doing too well then. He's probably taking this one pretty hard. Yeah, there's a lot of them up here.
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being shocked.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danan mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right? I know it's not as simple as all that, but Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down. And there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah. I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Rinwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up. Maybe they don't know either.
Maybe. But regardless, at the end of the day, Dana's still our home.
Yeah, there's nothing
no
left
way
on
we can
Rena,
let
so
it
we
be
could lose
destroyed.
Rena and probably
We
still be
won't.
fine.
We'll keep it safe no matter what.
It's just that there's nothing, like, losing Dana would be the worst possible case scenario. Like, there's not really anything you could do about that. Oh, is this a heal? How'd you get hurt? What? Let me collapse the helmet back up. Thanks to you, I can go up with my research. Happy bottles. Okay, I don't know, whatever. It's not like I'm using any of that anyway, so we're just kind of chilling at this point. Alright.
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
This is like
Did you forget what
existential
happened
shit,
back in
dude. Yeah.
Thistlewood? Once my memories started coming back to me, I felt completely and totally lost.
It's another thing when,
It
like,
was
dudes
really
from
that bad
space
for
are
you?
coming down to fuck
Yeah,
with you.
It was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Like you, my love.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, When's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live. And I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do, or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about. All I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them.
I kind of knew we weren't going to get anything out of Law's conversation, I'll be honest with you.
Strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that's best.
Yeah, I feel like we've been here before. Alright. This dude, you holding up, brother. Give him a pat on the back.
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one.
It also matches up with everything that we've heard so far.
Constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory returned, Alphen. And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of being alive, don't you think?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not concerned for myself. What concerns me is all of the other Renans out there.
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on Lenegis or Dana, right?
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problems will still remain. Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in, if we do not truly belong there, we will have to think long and hard about where it is that we wish
They're
to
gonna have to
return
move to Dana. There's no other choice.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis or come down to Dana, huh?
People are gonna hate the shit
right
out of
now,
them.
Lenegis might not even be a safe option.
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things could turn dire. There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity towards us Renans. Our own circumstances as the aggressors are irrelevant.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down about people reconciling.
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck. There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still, even now, there remain ardent dissidents.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope
Yeah,
to
because
achieve on
Lenegis is also kind of
after this is
dangerous
all
now.
over?
But they're gonna have to come down and they'll have
Indeed.
nothing.
I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator, so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only Blazing Sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, The fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danon society without any bloodshed.
They'd have to mostly live in Elda Menancia, honestly.
You're the same as ever, Dohalim.
I mean, where else are you going to realistically live in Dana? Let's be fair here.
Relax. You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
I guess Ganeth Harrows, but Ganeth Harrows seems like a bunch of Badlands.
I can see you were raised well.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
Then I'll ask once again. This time just as friends. Alphen.
Mahag-Sar might be okay, but it's all destroyed. Like, Menancia is like the only good place worth living, honestly.
Thank you, my friend.
Whatever.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
Man, this game...
What about
you would have thought this game was over by now.
The origin of the Renans?
We've had like 3 finales so far.
I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it, before it was too late. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call, is a mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting destroyed. She considered me, a Danon, as a real person. And she very much cherished her own people, too. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved, just so they could go back to hurting each other.
It's what she would have wanted.
Maybe this is what she meant.
Yeah, pretty much.
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering, she said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred. That means forgiving other people, even and especially before they forgive you.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another, without even meaning to. I know that better than most, thanks to these thorns.
It's not going to be easy getting past this pain. But if we can do it, I'm sure there'll come a time when we can all truly understand each other. I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world we live in, and all the people we care about. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori for everything that she did.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in, and I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
This game feels like it has a completely different tonal shift in the second half.
I haven't forgotten.
Like, for real.
And that's the honest truth.
Holy shit. Feels like a completely different game.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dana's still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, then so be it. It's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Xion.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Xion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Xion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Xion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great Spirit.
Yeah, and that's what all this does, is awakening it to its true potential.
Xion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and
Seems
get
like
a
it's the
piece of my mind
conscious
and
and
then some.
the actual body is in the planet.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous. Large enough to house the will of an entire planet.
Yeah, like there's no way we're just gonna fly down there and start like
Wedge and
hacking
Lenegis
it.
were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Heverick 35 has been observing the Great Astral Spirit this whole time. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is.
Alright.
Our minds.
Ah, fuck, I forgot about that.
So if the
Lenegis
Sovereign
today.
and Maiden were originally boot-up programs for Lenegis, what about now?
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renis Alma stolen, Lenegis is functioning fine. If it needed us before, it doesn't appear to now.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for, then you're discarded like you're nothing?
Yeah.
Who the hell do they think they are?
More
Labor.
importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into their list of concerns.
I just hope everyone on Lenegis is safe.
Worst comes to worst, Lenegis is equipped with a large number of starships that people can escape in. As long as the whole
Yeah,
satellite
thank the Lord.
doesn't suddenly explode or something.
We're very
they should
lucky
be
that there's a
fine.
way off of there.
Wait,
but is it enough for the whole populace?
In any case, if we're truly going to make a difference, it's on Rena we're needed, not Lenegis. The people there will be fine. I'm sure of it.
Right.
Okay. I never went to the upper level, right? He wasn't the upper level, was he? I think he was the central level. No, isn't it just to leave? What the hell is this? Oh, I guess something must happen here in a little bit. Bro, this game just became fucking Star Ocean out of nowhere. Like, for real. If you showed me this, I would say, wow, it looks like Star Ocean. Like, I know Tales games have had some futuristic stuff in them before. Never anything like this. This is next level. This is the most futuristic Tales game out there. Okay.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma.
Which means we need to steal it back
You
first.
will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Boy, that doesn't
Hold
sound
on.
painful.
That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Dead, homie.
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So
You know, invariably erased.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational. It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully
Yeah, I made a
eradicate
backup
the great
plan.
Spirit.
That's
That is
great.
why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renus Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns could be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
He's
It
like,
is true that the Renus Alma is
sure.
capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony. Considering that the Renus Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed, I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine, then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed.
This is
We
how you get
want
the
to
bad
save
ending
it.
in a game.
But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
He might actually just do that, you know.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renus Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renus Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renus Alma is with the Great Spirit.
Yeah, so everything's down there for us. We just have to go there.
Dana's astral
Okay.
energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Fall apart, homie.
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
Yeah, Rena's
So you're
screwed.
saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is
It
recommended
turns into a
that you all
Metroid
escape
game.
before the final stage.
Good
Man,
God.
I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Havrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar, is all.
Alright, we know what we have to do.
Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me.
I mean, yeah,
The end result
okay,
shall be
sure,
the
dude.
same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's
That is
finished.
exactly what I would say, too. It's like, okay, cool.
Man.
The truth.
Too much to ask for Hevrick 35.
Jeez,
I'm
man.
Like a normal person. I swear
It's
I
like
can feel
5
my brain
hours of
starting to
shit.
fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Don't worry. I think we're mostly done with him. Now all we have to do is rest up and wait.
An alternate plan.
Is the Renus Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit? There has to be another way, right?
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy to prevent it from gaining sentience, right? Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe.
Yeah, not on a
But with the amount of
planetary
energy
scale.
we're talking about
That's
here,
way too much.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Hevrek 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details. So assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
Alright. I'm only gonna play for a little bit more here, but holy fucking shit. I mean, like, it's been one hell of an arc. Dude, the amount of shit that's gone on in the last 5 hours has been legendary. Here I was thinking we were gonna do side quests for like half this session. It's all plot exposition at the end. Alright, finally we actually get an unvoiced cutscene, if you can believe it. It'll take some time to completely repair your starship. I suggest that you all get some rest in the interim. Sure. This is probably like the actual, like, final hurrah. Like, now you could go back to wherever you want. You could fly where you need to. Do whatever you want. All that good stuff.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
Yeah, they're pretty screwed.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
It's because I knew all along.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives.
God, these two need to kiss too.
Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad.
Yeah,
just
they're
like
not as
us.
ridiculous. They're the armored dudes,
That
sure,
is,
but most
in
of them are
essence,
whatever.
the heart
Up on
of your
Lenegus.
approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when
I
this
kind
is
of
all
feel
over?
like we've been here before again.
Yes, I do.
Again.
I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegus when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegus proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you.
Bro.
Doe.
Yes.
Did you just...
Yes.
Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You
Dude,
know,
just fucking...
I hadn't actually
Come
thought
on.
of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Dude, she loves you. I don't care what anyone says. You're not gonna fucking convince me otherwise, dude. This couple sucks. I hate it. I don't like either of them
why'd
anymore.
you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle.
Yeah, this might actually
So I
be
wanted
it.
to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before. About whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
when we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside
Yeah, we
each
just
of
can't
us?
detect it because we always have it.
In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
This is really similar to Final Fantasy
Well,
IV,
like
like
you said,
exceptionally.
unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah. Maybe...
Effort 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will... Well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No.
How did you not hear anything he just said? Like, for real.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
That's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
No one's actually gonna do it until the end of the game, are they? I dislike the both of them, so it kind of works out, I guess. Dude, look how ridiculous that looks.
Sure you want to get some rest?
They're spearing the shit out of Lennigus.
Can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle
Dude, the whole ending of this game could have been an anime.
How are you doing,
Like, there was
Sean?
very little gameplay in these last 6 hours.
Same as you. Still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana?
Dude!
All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
The fucking thing, it's...
Ages and ages
it's bigger
ago.
than the fucking planet.
Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Rena's Alma, there's something I want you to do.
Kill me!
Like Hevrect 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen. that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the Blazing Sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the Blazing Sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything
Listen,
that we...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Shion. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Shion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I mean, I think we'll be fine anyway. Unless something really fucked up happens, like he eats the Renis Alma or he breaks it.
I felt the first
or
time
something.
you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone
Does that
willing
first
to
sentence
reach
make
out to me.
sense?
But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before.
Okay.
But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Shion,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Miserable.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, that is the craziest shit. I mean, people on Dana have to be freaking out, right? You could see the petals now from behind the planet. Like, for real, for real.
Everybody get enough rest? You ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Because you could see Rena from Dana.
Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore
Oh yeah, I
stability
can't
to
wait.
both worlds.
Maybe I should grind a
Fighting
little
for a
bit.
new future
Jeez.
for both Dana and Rena.
We've come this far. We will save
Buy a
our
bunch of
worlds.
heavy treats.
That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
Of course.
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrect 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
Yeah, you
You'll
know.
need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up.
Yeah, she did.
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
I mean, there's an actual real reason for that, for both of those, but whatever.
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand.
Okay.
All right.
Kind of dunks on him there at the last second. Sure, why not? Well, I'm done for the day. This was like 6 hours of almost straight cutscenes, but pretty much like there is no real second part of the game. Like I'll be honest with you, like from when we finished up all that cutscene to now, right? Like it says about like 5 hours ish, give or take. Like there hasn't really been much to do. There was that one portion where we fought the boss against whatever the lady was, and that's it. Like it was pretty much just straight story. And I mean, it was good. I mean, it's better than the 6 or however many hours preceding it, but goddamn, like that was a complete tonal shift. But at this rate, needless to say, the next time that we play this game will pretty much be the last. I could not imagine that we will need more than one more session. I am going to grind probably tonight or maybe tomorrow morning just to kind of get some items, top off all my items to make sure I have everything I need. So that way there's no question, there's no whatever. Not doing any of the extra stuff. So the next time we play, we'll just beat the game. So, I mean, that's fair enough to me.